Hello, welcome back. In this red pill, blue pill situation, you have chosen the spoiler free version of Scream 6. That's my review. Yep. Today, that's what I'm doing. So, I watched this with audio description on Paramount Plus. That's where it lives. Obviously, it's been out very late. However, I did want to get a chance to talk about this without talking about spoilers, just in case anybody wants to talk about the audio description. It's kind of a disappointing audio description experience. I mean, for me, it's okay. It's I understood the film. Um, it's Paramount Plus, and I know I recognize that narrator's voice. I don't want to say it, but I know that narrator, um, and it's killing me. But Paramount Plus always kicks me out during the credits, like almost immediately. So I didn't get to the end, but I've definitely talked with people in the blind community since this film was released theatrically who have seen this film who did not like the audio description for this film. So I knew that going into this, and I was trying to be really discerning and listening to the audio description and trying to come up with very specific things that I could say about the audio description to say, okay, so what could we have done better here? What worked? The problem is always that without literally seeing it with a sighted person next to me and being like, so this is what I heard, what did you hear? It's kind of like I don't know what I actually missed. So it's a little hard to gauge. I would say it's a horror movie, and there wasn't a whole lot of focus on gore, even though Scream 6 is probably the most violent and gory of all of them. There's a sense of urgency in every single attack. It's very angry and very violent, and I kind of felt that a little bit with Scream 5, directed by the same people, and they really feel, I don't know what world they grew up in, but they did not grow up in like sort of the casual slasher way of where, you know, you just kind of stab somebody in the gut and then like walked away. I mean, everybody in this film feels like they're working through their anger issues. Every ghost face feels like they're working through an anger issue. It's just so aggressive. And the kills and how they stab people, where they stab people, they're getting far more creative. It's the very first time there's been a dismembered body in a Scream film, I think. I think that's straight up the first time where I've been like, oh, body parts. Cool. That's fun in a Scream film. I mean, this has been a pretty light franchise up until now, in terms of that. So I think we could have definitely leaned in more, since it seemed like the film wanted to lean in more, instead of just sort of generically describing it. It feels like it described it like it was any other, like it was a Wes Craven Scream film, but instead of what are these guys called, Radio Silence or something like that, film. And yeah, it's way more violent. It's weird to say that it's way more violent than a Wes Craven film. Like that dude's one of the masters of horror. I don't know why. I guess their mission is to one up him and become the new masters of horror. I don't know. Anyway, they got a while to go. Ari Aster's over there doing some crazy shit. Anyway, there's also a scene. This isn't really a spoiler. I won't tell you what goes on, but there's a scene where a lot of characters are featured because it takes place at Halloween. Of course, they released this movie in like fucking February, and this movie takes place at Halloween. Because why not? But yeah, so it's everybody's wearing like costumes all the time, right? And of course, this is some sort of weird world in which the Ghostface killings are real, and people also feel like dressing up like Ghostface, which is a little like having Jeffrey Dahmer as your Halloween costume, and being like, it's which is it's a very valid comparison, by the way, because we've had Dahmer like TV series and stuff, that the thing that Netflix just did that did really well in the ratings. So it's not like we haven't made quote unquote entertainment about it before. There are plenty of things that Dahmer has been into the media. So it'd be like if everybody just suddenly dressed up like Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween. You'd be like, what the fuck is everybody dressed up as Jeffrey Dahmer? So that's kind of how I feel like when everybody's dressed up as Ghostface. And then they're mixed in, supposedly, and this has been confirmed by people who can see, that all the other costumes are these, they're nods to other Halloween, like horror franchises, like Michael Myers and Jason and stuff like that. So you don't get that in the audio description. You get the reference to the fact that people are wearing Ghostface masks, but you don't get the other references. So I have no idea how deep that goes and how many other horror movie references are in this. But I've heard that they're pretty obvious to a sighted community. So in a world in which the audio description is supposed to be bridging the gap, I would say this doesn't really bridge that gap. So that would be another criticism. And that's another criticism that I specifically have heard from another blind member of the community. So I knew that going in. I waited for the scene, I waited for the narration, and I was like, yep, that's exactly what happens. We completely rescue rangers this whole thing, and if the point was to show how cool we can be by having all these cameos, not really cameos of the characters, but cameos of the masks, then that was lost on us. So that sucks. But in general, I didn't have too big of a problem. Like, I thought it was, I was able to follow the film, which was fine. And unlike Scream 5, where I swear to God, I was, like, my whole review for Scream 5, I didn't re-review it recently, because at the end of the day, I watched 1 through 4 all without audio description before I watched this. I have a review of Scream 5 on my channel, and I have it with audio description. Why would I re-watch that? I just watched it last year. I don't want to see it again that soon. It was alright. I mean, I did grade it a little bit on a curve because I like Scream as a franchise, so I'm predestined to like a Scream film more than something else. But I did not think one of the killers in Scream 5 worked for me. When I went through and kind of came up with a timeline for who killed what, when, where, it didn't really work out for me. Here, I think it's fucking brilliant. I mean, I think what they did with the killers here is totally original. It's very fantastic. I applaud it. I think this is really original. It's really caught me off guard. And there's a lot of things a lot of choices that they make that no Scream film before has made. And I think that is what sets it apart. It's not really a spoiler. You should have known this by now. There's no Sydney in this film. That's not that they didn't try to play you. She's really not in this. They did not give her enough money. She really did not come back. It wasn't like a ploy. So if you were hoping against all odds that she shows up, she does not show up. They did not give her the money. So she's mentioned. So they didn't kill her off. She's off. She sends her love. I love that. I love that statement. That was so funny. I'm like, they're in the middle of people dying, and Sydney sends her love. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Anyway, Um, yeah. So this is like both the best and the worst Scream film I think I've seen simultaneously. Um, it's got a lot that is really innovative and creative and works really well for it. I liked the characters. Kirby is back and she's fucking great. Hayden Panettiere as Kirby in this is, oh, thank God. You know, I mean, like this is why people wanted her to live in Scream 4, is is so that she can come back. I wanted more of her. Like, I wish there was a world in which we could have let her have even more to do than she has in this film. I would not be mad about like a Kirby led Scream film, where she is the lead and we find out about her because she's a survivor too. So it's weird that like nobody has tried to track her down, and she shows up now. You know, it's like, I mean, these ghost face people, these copycats keep following anybody having to do with Woodsboro, but like Kirby's been fine off on her own this whole time. Weird. So yeah, it's great seeing her back, and obviously Gail's back, and the core four from the last film, and some new kids. So you'll have fun guessing at who the killers are. If you guess it correctly, congratulations, because they make it a challenge. They make it kind of easy and a challenge at the same time. So it's not maybe quite what you think going into the film, but I enjoyed it mostly. But my biggest qualm with this film, is why I need to talk about it more in a spoiler review, is we need to have a conversation about what happens when you get stabbed. That's really all I can say, because I can't really go into that without spoiling things. But let's just say that these guys think that being stabbed with a knife is akin to like a nice little like slap in the face. Like if somebody just walked up and just slapped you on the face and just walked away, you'd be fine, right? You'd just be like, okay, well, I just got slapped. That's kind of like what being stabbed is in this film. So it's kind of pointless. It's just kind of like, oh, well, we've all been stabbed. So we're like, it gets kind of ridiculous, actually. It's the film loses itself when it takes they allow people to be stabbed multiple times and they're just like wandering around. It's fucking ridiculous. It is so stupid. Like some characters, they get stabbed once and they're like, oh, I'm dead, and then other people, they get stabbed like multiple times and they're just like, what's up, guys? Like, how many times have you, what's going on? The fuck? Anyway, yeah, it's very interesting. And that makes it both the best and the worst Scream, because I couldn't overlook it. It was really frustrating me. So really inventive, creative stuff here. Good job on that. I like the cast. I actually am growing more to like the new kids, and I look forward to Scream 7, so that's a positive thing. But, oh my God, somebody please set these directors down and talk to them about stabbing. Please talk to them about stabbing, because if this goes on in Scream 7, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to give Scream 6 generously a B+. They should get far lower. The way that they think people can get stabbed and just wander around is absurd. But it's going to take you out of the film. It's a lot, and it happens all the time. I cannot stress that enough. I was talking with a friend of mine, and they had to fucking leave the film. They couldn't take it anymore because people just kept getting up. It's just like, it's so obnoxious. It takes, the whole film is based around people being stabbed all the time. The whole film franchise within a franchise is called Stab. Yet people get stabbed all the time in this film, and they're just like wandering around like, I'm fine, don't worry, I got this. I'm healing already. You know, it's like, oh my god, it's so annoying. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And if you want to know more, click on my spoiler video. And we'll talk more specifically about certain things that are ridiculous. And our website, MacMovieGuy.com. You can go to Twitter, Instagram, follow me at MacMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to theadna.org. That's the adna.org, and it'll let you know who is narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will see you on the other side. What's your favorite scary movie?